Welcome to the Money Manifestation Mastery podcast with your host, Lara Waldman, where we talk all things money. Big money, big purpose, big power. Waking up your wealth for heart-centered business owners and entrepreneurs. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the discipline and denial that is required to create your desired results. In order to manifest and consciously create what it is that you want, discipline and self-denial are important pieces. Join today's conversation to get crystal clear on what you want to focus on and what you need to get crystal clear on in order to create those desired results, and the aligned self-denial that is required in order to move forward. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome back. How are you doing? I'm recording this on the first full week back after the holidays, the start of the new year. And I've been thinking a lot about New Year's resolutions, helping people to get focused on who they are and what they want. And I've been thinking about the endless distractions that stop you and block you from moving forward and creating what it is that you truly desire. I love New Year's resolutions. I love the new year, but I also want to make sure that it's not some fad that you're just focused on for a week and then drop. I've noticed at the gym that there's a lot more people going at the start of January, and I know by February that will just drop off. And the same thing with when I do cold water swimming. In the summer, suddenly you can't get a slot, everyone's swimming, and I know if I just wait long enough, eventually there'll be less and less people. As it gets colder, people drop away, and then by the winter, there's plenty of space to swim. So I think a lot about human beings and how we tend to focus on what's most comfortable and lose focus when it comes to things that are uncomfortable, even if that uncomfortable thing is going to get you towards where you want to be. So today I want to talk about the discipline that's required to create the results that you want and the denial that goes along with that. Before we dive into the specifics of today's conversation, what's really important is to first get clear on what you want. What you really want, what's really important to you. Because there may be many things that you want to do or experience or have, but in terms of practical reality, you're going to need to funnel your focus on what's really important to you. So I'd like you to think about the top 1 to 3 things that are the most important for you to focus on in the next year or years to come. What's at the top of the list? Because if you try and do everything, you water everything down. If you want to actually move your life forward, you're going to need to focus. And that can be an uncomfortable process. And the manifestation mastery method is designed to help you with that discipline, that practice to stay focused on who you are and what you want. And it is just way too easy to get distracted by a million and one things. I know my brain gets very distracted, and I have found staying focused and taking consistent aligned action really challenging. So I've developed the system because I have struggled with this so much. So I was thinking about all the things that I have got a really great practice in that are part of my normal. And they weren't part of my normal. They weren't part of my regular practice, but I used the manifestation mastery method to get me here. And now it's just what I do every day. I don't have to think about it too much. It's just part of what I do. And this is the thing that once you've developed a new healthy habit and you've got that consistency and that focus and that discipline on what you want, it doesn't become so hard. And over time, you realize that if you want to improve an area of your life, you need to be funneling your energy into it. You need to be giving it energy. The best example for me with this is my marriage, my relationship with my husband. We've been together for 24 years, and we have been on an up and down journey. We've had some really challenging times, and now our marriage is at a really, really great place. And I will tell you now that I have worked, and we have worked really hard on our relationship, consistently, actively for the last 10 years. And I've been using my manifestation mastery method to help me in that relationship. This has not been comfortable. This has not been easy. But now we've got an incredible relationship because we feed energy into it. And we've done a lot of hard work, meaning we've addressed the challenges, we've addressed the blocks, we've addressed the obstacles. And most importantly, we have a practice now of connecting in with each other pretty much every day. Every Saturday, we go for a walk and a swim, and we talk for anywhere from 1 to 2 hours. We go through this process called a daily temperature reading, where we check in with each other. We start with affirmations for each other. We do news and updates. We talk about puzzles or problems that we may be experiencing. We go through complaints, any complaints we have that we need to address, and then we end on hopes, dreams, and aspirations of visions, essentially. And this is something that one of our really good friends told us about, and we've been practicing for years. And I remember when we first started doing this, the complaints area would go on for a long time, and it was really painful. And sometimes it would take us 3 hours to go through this process. It was really difficult. It wasn't fun. It wasn't enjoyable. It was hard. But we kept at it and kept doing it consistently every week, and we still do. And now we just breeze through it. It's amazing. And mostly now we don't have any complaints because we are connecting in consistently over time. And we make sure to have time together pretty much every day, either, in a small way or a bigger way. And that means that our marriage, our relationship is in a really strong place. But equally, if we stop doing that, it would stay strong for a little bit, but it would start kind of fizzling out if we stop feeding our energy into it. The obvious example for this is keeping your house tidy. So if you put energy into consistently keeping your house tidy, your house is going to be tidy. You can spend hours cleaning your house from top to bottom, going through every drawer in the house, getting it absolutely perfect, putting all this time and energy in one big burst. But within a few days, within a week, your house is going to be messy again. It needs to be tidied. It needs to be cleaned consistently in order to keep it clean. We are blessed to have a cleaner come once a week, but actually, I would love to have a cleaner every day or at least twice a week, because within a few days, it's getting messy again. So in order to have a clean and tidy house, we need to be tidying it up consistently. And this is just part of my normal. I don't have to think about it that much. We just tidy up, and that's part of the game. But when it comes to other areas of your life where you may not be experiencing the results you want, what is most likely happening is it's not getting your time and energy. It's not getting your attention. And so we need to develop a new healthy habit. And I find the manifestation mastery method an incredible practice to help you do just that. The other area of my life that's very consistent is moving my body. I move my body every single day. That is not hard for me because it's been part of my life since I was a young girl, actually. Exercise has really saved me. It always makes me feel better. And now I don't even have to think about it. But I did, in the last year, start working with a personal trainer, because what I saw was that future wealthy me was very strong, very physically strong. And I hadn't been going to the gym since I was in my early 20s, and I started burning out, and I had a really unhealthy relationship with the gym, and I didn't like it. But I saw future wealthy me going to the gym. And so I ended up investing in a personal trainer to help me build this strength. And this last personal trainer I've been working with, Gus, who's amazing. We've been working together for over 6 months now. And what I've noticed is as I've been building strength and really seeing results over 6 months, I now love going to the gym. I've got a really healthy relationship with it, and I've got a really positive association with it. It's sort of a safe space for me because I know no matter how I'm feeling, after the gym, I'm going to feel so much better. And I've started making some friends there, and it's really cool and really nice. But I have found it really hard, starting with the new practice, the new discipline, the new program. We're kind of pushing me every time into what Gus calls the pain cave. And it's hard. It feels hard. I've been going when I'm feeling well, when I'm not feeling well. I've been going when I'm feeling good, when I'm not feeling good. I've been going when I'm feeling strong and when I'm feeling weak. And it's been really interesting going consistently no matter what, because I've got that accountability and that support with Gus. I know that he's checking in on me. And so I go, and I was thinking, this is so similar to anything we want to move forward in business, finances, whatever area of life, that beginning bit can feel really hard and feel difficult and feel painful. But if you keep showing up consistently, no matter what, you're going to get results. You can't not get results. So it doesn't mean that every training session I'm rocking it. Sometimes I feel really weak. I'm feeling tired. I'm not feeling well. But because I keep going, I continue to get results, even if one day's stronger than another day. And what's also interesting about that, I've noticed, is that because I'm pushing myself harder and I'm stretching myself because my program's kind of getting harder and harder, it feels like I'm getting weaker and weaker. But actually, I'm just pushing harder and harder, so it feels harder and harder. But actually, I'm growing in strength and resilience. And this is really what I'm looking to create now. And this is what I saw with Future Wealthy Me, that I was stronger and more resilient than I was presently. And I can really see that now after doing this consistently over 6 months. I'm building that inner strength and resilience, that physical strength and resilience that is going to help me with sort of psychological, emotional strength and resilience that I need in the game of business, leadership, and quite frankly, just being, a thriving human being in the world. So these are a few examples of areas of my life that are strong because I've been consistently putting my time and energy into it. And as part of that discipline, there is also denial that happens. I'm also very good with my diet and food because I had serious health issues through my teens and my early 20s. I learned a long time ago the food that I need to eat to make me feel good and the food that will make me feel really bad. And honestly, it took me years to break some unhealthy habits around food. But I kept with the manifestation mastery method, the process, and eventually got myself into, a happy, healthy, harmonious relationship with my food and diet. But because I'm in a strong place, it means there's a little bit of leeway that I can have, maybe a little bit more wheat or a little bit more sugar. It will still make me feel bad. But I have a little bit of leeway, where back in the day, I couldn't digest anything. My digestion was an absolute mess. And I couldn't afford to have anything that wasn't good for my body. What's really important to acknowledge is these results I'm having in my marriage, that I'm having in my home life, health, body, all are here because of the consistent discipline and practice, but also because of denial. There is a natural denial that needs to happen in order to create the desired results, meaning that I have to, wake up earlier in order to get the exercise in. I need to put time aside with my husband, for example. So where maybe I'd want to be out socializing more, or I'd want to be doing some more things that might be fun in another area, I hyper-focus on the areas that are important to me, and then I deny myself doing things that aren't actually in alignment with that. And with the things that I've got healthy habits with, that's not hard for me. I want to do those things. So I'm not actually suffering with that denial. And same goes with my self-care practice. So I've got a really strong discipline with the manifestation mastery method, making sure that I'm doing those practices every day to stay in alignment with myself. That's another healthy habit that I have. But that means I need to spend time alone. I need to carve out time to be with myself. Again, less socializing time, less time maybe with friends, less time doing other things that might be fun. because I know that if I deny myself those external pleasures and I focus on these practices, I know that I'm going to feel better, and I know I'm going to get the results that I truly desire. It's a long-term gain for short-term pain. Now, these are just some of the examples of the areas in my life that are really strong. And I'd like you to think about the areas of your life that are strong right now that you probably don't even notice because they're just part of your daily habit. But there will be some areas of your life where that is not the case, right? There's be certain things that you want to manifest, that you want to create, that maybe right now you don't have a healthy habit with yet. So in order to create a new habit or start doing something new, this requires discipline, and it will also require some denial. You're going to need to deny yourself in the short term in order to create those long-term desired results. Now, for me, I find this transition quite uncomfortable. It can be even painful at times. And the discipline is the daily practice of using the manifestation mastery method to support yourself through that change and transition. It's going to be uncomfortable denying yourself in an area of your life in order to gain a result that might be way down the line. We are seeking pleasure in the short term. Some examples could be maybe you want to give up alcohol. And I know in times when I've given up alcohol, I don't drink much, but I went a whole year without any alcohol. And that can be really hard in the beginning when you're out socializing, other people are drinking and you're not. I have friends who are maybe having relationships with people that aren't the relationship they truly desire. So in terms of manifestation mastery, I'd say, well, get focused on the relationship that you want and stop seeing those people that are out of alignment with that. So the denial would be just stop having sex. Maybe there'd be short-term pleasure. Maybe they're having great sex with someone that they really like, but they're not their person. It's not actually going to be a good and healthy relationship for them. So the short-term denial in that case would be to stop having sex with that person or stop putting your precious time and energy into someone that isn't going anywhere. It might be comfortable. It might be fun. So in the short-term pleasure like sex or alcohol or food, whatever it is, we need to think, is the action I'm taking feeding what I want, or is it leaking energy away from what I want? Is the action that I'm taking growing the future that I truly desire, or is it leaking energy away from the future that I truly desire? And often we're just sleepwalking through life, unconsciously taking actions without even thinking about it, because that's our hardwiring, that's our default programming. But if you want to manifest something that you truly desire, which also means consciously and consistently creating in alignment with what you want, you are going to have to deny yourself in the short term. Now, that means when you start pulling away the short-term pleasure that you've been giving yourself for that, momentary good feeling, it's going to feel bad. You're going to go through a detox. And in that detox, you might feel uncomfortable emotionally or mentally or even physically. But if you can hold the line and hold that discipline and keep in that conscious denial, because you know that in denying yourself in the short term, you're going to be feeding into your future, in time, you'll start to create more and more of what you want. Now, this transition can be really hard. I'm not going to lie to you. I personally find it really quite uncomfortable, and I need a lot of support to hold the line of who I am and what I want. And it is a discipline. And I've noticed that the impulse to go towards that pleasure-seeking pattern is very strong. And that's been different through different phases and stages of my life, depending on what I'm trying to move through. In the past, it's been food, drugs, alcohol, and then also even certain habits. Like I had to change some of the ways I was doing things and living my life. I was doing a lot of self-care at one point in my life, which was amazing. But it ended up being about 4 hours a day, and it was leaking energy away from my business. And actually, I was being guided to move forward with taking action in my business and action in my finances that at that time was incredibly, incredibly uncomfortable for me, because I found joy and pleasure in self-care at this point. And I didn't have any joy and pleasure in the game of business and finance. And over time, I had to, pull back some of that time, which brought me joy, and started focusing on things that I found hard. I remember when I first started creating a discipline and practice around my finances, oh my gosh, Everything in me was fighting it. Nothing in me wanted to do it. And I'll be honest with you, it's kind of embarrassing, but I had to have it on my vision board for about 2 years before I could sit down and actually face my finances. And now I've got a pretty consistent discipline and practice around being on top of my finances in our personal life and my business. But I'll tell you now, it took me a while to get into that healthy habit and actually enjoy it and actually, want to put time and energy aside and it not being an inner battle to get there. So you do need to be quite determined on the result that you want. You have to really want it. It has to be so important to you that you're willing to go through the pain portal into prosperity or go through discomfort in order to get what you want. And the fact is, most people aren't willing to do that because it's an uncomfortable thing. And this is why you've got to get so clear on what you want and why you want it and why it's so, so important to you. And trust the process and let the consciousness of your soul, your heart, your body's wisdom guide you through, because that version of yourself is going to show you this absolutely beautiful world that's ready and waiting for you. More joy, more love, more connection, more purpose, more peace, feeling more at home. But it doesn't mean you're going to be feeling that all of the time. But that heart, body, soul aligned wisdom is going to be bringing you into thriving rather than surviving. And it is a discipline. It is a practice. I have anxiety every day. I have self-doubt every day. I have fears come up every day. I have parts of myself that fight where I'm going, that heart, body, soul alignment. And I have to do the practice to get into alignment every day. It's easier now than it used to be, but it's still a practice. It's still a discipline. Because that survival brain, our beautiful brains are still going to be with us. Our egos are still with us. That part that wants to keep you safe is still going to be with you. It just needs to be supported and held as you courageously take that aligned action moving forward. So I'd like you to think of 1, 2, or 3 things that you really want to create, that you really want to experience, that you really want to manifest. And get really focused on that. And then what is the simple, consistent action that you need to take, ideally every day, or at least a few times a week, that's going to feed that desired result? It's often simple. It's often a little bit boring. But if you do that action consistently over time, you can't not move your life forward. And this needs time, as well as consistency. Some things take way longer than you think, but some things might be just around the corner. I don't like to put a timeline on things. It depends what it is you're wanting to manifest. It depends what it is you're wanting to create. But some things take way longer than your ego would like, and some things are ready much faster than you feel ready for. So this is why we need to show up, do the work, let go, and be consistent with the practice, and then be consistent with the things that are really, really important to you. And make sure you are well supported. And we are here, the Living Abundance team and I are here to support you with this. So if you want any help to get crystal clear on what you want, to identify the blocks that are in the way of that, and to help you identify that next step, simple aligned action that you need to take, we'd love to support you. So head over to my website, larawaldman.com. You can apply for a free wealth expansion session with me, or sign up for our free resources. We've got a whole lot of events coming up that you can come and tap. Everything we do is designed to help you with this so you can move your life forward one step at a time. And remember that support is a superpower. It's not a weakness. I need a lot of support to keep moving forward with the results that I want. You will be more successful the more supported you are. So lean in, tap into all the resources we've got for you. We are here. We are fully committed to this transformation game, and we're here to support you to do the same. Thank you so much for joining me for today's conversation. I would love to know what is landing for you. Send me a message. Let me know what you're going to focus on, those 1 to 3 things that you want to create, to manifest in the year and years to come. I would love to know. And if you haven't already, make sure to follow or subscribe to this podcast to never miss an episode. And I look forward to being with you again next time.